Welcome to the Transformational Soul Show with your host, Ruth Soltman. Are you ready to experience more stability in your life? You can change your life and be who you are meant to be, your authentic self.
Hello and welcome to the Transformational Soul. My name is Ruth Soltman. I'd like to welcome you and thank you so much for being here. We are currently live streaming on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, and Facebook. So thank you so much for joining me. Please hit the like or the thumbs up button and please share the show. I greatly appreciate that. And if you are out there and you haven't said anything, you're just kind of sitting back, please say hello. I'd love to hear from you. I ask you to check out my website, ruthsoltman.com. That's RUTH, S as in Sam, OL, T as in Tom, M as in Mary, N as in Nancy.com. And you can go to my website and find out about my books and my oracle cards and my services. And you can go on there and order or schedule. I hope you'll check it out this weekend because I am doing some updates. So there's going to be some new stuff on there. And if you haven't already joined us, I hope you'll join the Goldylocks Productions group on Telegram. It's so much information, that we share. The energy, of course, is amazing because we have such a wonderful spiritual family. And, we comment and post on there daily. So I think you would really like that. Hello, Heather. I'm so happy you could make it. Hello, Joyce. Nice to see you here. And Richard and Sarah. And don't forget to check out the Goldylocks merchandise. We have all sorts of different items you can order. And, you know about this early so you can get those orders in for great Christmas gifts. And don't forget about the Goldylocks Productions Oracle cards, Energize. Those would make a fantastic gift for, a family member or a friend. Thank you to all of you who show your support for the show by liking and sharing. I'm very grateful. I want to wish a happy birthday to everyone who is celebrating a birthday this week. And let's send out some love, light, and healing to all those who are in need. So I want to also thank you for all of you who donated last month, because in essence, you sponsored my show for this month. So that's pretty amazing for October. I'm very grateful. It really helps out a lot. If you would like to give a tip or donation, you can do that via my Venmo, a Rumble rant on Rumble, or a Super Chat or Super Sticker on YouTube. Hello, Carol. Nice to see you. So tonight, I have a special guest, Pamela Cummins. She is an expert dream interpreter, spiritual growth coach, and psychic. Pamela has authored 7 books and 4 oracle cards on the topics of dream interpretation, spirituality, personal growth, and relationships. Let's welcome Pamela Cummins to the show. Hello, hey, Pamela.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on your show and to actually see you in person.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, I really appreciate it. So there's a lot going on with you, huh? You seem very, very busy.
Yeah, too busy sometimes. But
well, I know I saw that yesterday your Kickstarter went live, right?
It did.
I know a lot of people don't know what Kickstarter is. Would you want to kind of explain what that is and what your Kickstarter is all about?
Okay. Well, first of all, when people hear Kickstarter, they kind of think like it's GoFundMe and we're asking for money. Okay. And that's what Kickstarter is not. That's not what it's about. It's about you getting some really awesome products or services, or they have events. I mean, one time they even had this guy just wanted to eat potato salad with people, and he asked for $100, and he made like so much money, and had like this huge, like hundreds of people came.
Oh
So,
my
which I think is kind of funny.
That
Okay.
is.
So Kickstarter is like a community, all right? And you can find things there that you can't find anywhere else. And what's really nice about Kickstarter, for instance, like with mine, my book, it's actually my 8th book, okay? And it's called Dream Interpretation for the Mystical Soul. And obviously it's like woo-woo stuff and, you know, all kinds of neat stuff. If I put that on Amazon or the other bookstores, I can't offer other stuff with it. Like, for instance, I'm adding on, I have 2 MP3s. One is for asking visitations for a deceased loved one, how to ask and call it in. The other one is to get goodbye to nightmares, is to get rid of them. I even have some PDF bookmarks. And then I'm offering discounts on my services, 20% off. Now, I can't do that at other bookstores, right? So it's only for people to come there. And the way that Kickstarter works is you go on, and there's different tiers. And some people, and I've had a few, most of my backers so far, I'm about 50% there, where you can just give a donation. You might not want anything. And then there's other tiers like the ebook, and then the ebook with the digital goodies, and then the ebook with, I'm sorry, let me just, dream interpretation by email. And I do it really in depth. It's not just like this dreams means this, because dreams can mean like so many different things. Okay. One dream can have like 2 or 3 meanings to it. And then the next one is for, to do like either by Zoom or on the phone, an hour consultation, 20% off. And then even like 3 session coaching packages. I have that all. And then I have add-ons, and I figured why not? And I did like a 1 email question, because usually I do 3 email questions, because I found if you just do 1, people ask like 20 questions. It's like, okay, what's the question? Okay. So, and it's exciting because, and it's nerve-wracking, right? This is my first one, and it's nerve-wracking because I did it for 21 days. And if I don't reach my amount that I put on there, I don't get anything. So all the work, the preparation and everything else is gone. And more sadly, the people don't get anything. Okay.
Wow.
That's what, yeah. You know, I mean, let's say like somebody has an invention for like $100,000 and they're like 10 cents short, that won't go through, which is really sad. Which is really sad. But but what's cool about it is you get these products before anybody else does. And I've backed a lot of campaigns, and I did it at first just to see, hey, I did one other time, but just to see what it's like. And now I'm like, you know, now I'm backing like lots of cool stuff. Like I got this tarot coin, which is really cool, and you spin it and you put your finger on it, and, and there's a card. Yeah, so there's like no cheating. It's hard to cheat with tarot, but you know what I mean. But there's all kinds of neat stuff on there, and it's a community. And I can talk like with the bookstores. Well, Ruth, you know, you can't. Whoever buys your book, you don't know who they are. You can communicate. Now, you can't take their email address. That's against the rules. Okay. If they choose to go on your mailing list, that's different. But during the campaign, you can communicate with them, and you can do updates, and they can communicate back with you. You know, because I know there's certain authors that I would love to be able to communicate, and I've met some really nice people. So it's a community. And the other thing is that usually like the books that I write are not a really popular genuine on Amazon. They're not popular because but on Kickstarter, they like the weird woo-woo stuff. I've seen and there's much more than books, but I've seen some books for gay people, okay? Like go for they want 1,000 and they get 10,000 because it's a genuine that they can't find on Amazon.
Yeah. So now what happens when the Kickstarter is over?
Okay,
good. I mean, how can people get your book then?
That's a good question. And honestly, I decided not to do physical goods because I'm not good with shipping. I'm just not. I did Etsy shop, and every time I sent something out, I'm like, oh, I hope they get it. What happens if they don't get it? So I'm just not good with that. It's too, we all have our special skills. But with the book, there's I can either do it through PayHip, okay, and they can get it there, or book funnel, and there'll be instructions there, and then I'll the people who wanted the services, I will send them an email so we can schedule. I'm not going to put them on my mailing list, but I will send them that.
Right.
So, and what happens too is everything's basically prepared. I just have to get the ebook formatted, which doesn't take that much time. But what happens is once you fund and the campaign's over, right, it takes Kickstarter about 2 weeks to pay you.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Yeah. Well, they have to, you think about it. They have so many campaigns going on. And what's nice is they take, I think it's 5% out, whatever you earn, and then 3% for the credit cards. So that's compared to other places, that's not bad. Yeah. So, and then I send out a survey because I'm also offering if they want to do a gift certificate, since it's so close to the holidays, or maybe they know somebody who would they would love, they're always talking about their dreams. They would love this. So, I need to send out the survey to find out, is this the correct email? Where do you want me to, would you like a gift certificate instead?
Oh, I think that's great.
Yeah. And then I do the book funnel, and, once I get paid, because obviously I need to make sure I get paid first.
Right.
Because I did have someone send me something that I didn't pay for, and it felt weird. Yeah, it felt weird. I was like, why are you emailing me this? And she's like, this is part. And I'm like, no, I did a lower tier. I was not supposed to get that. So that felt I felt like, it felt weird. It didn't feel fair to the people who paid more money.
Right.
That's just.
If you get donations above what you're asking for, do you still get to keep that money?
Oh, yeah. In fact, one of the things they say is to make mine is $300. Okay. So it's not asking, and it's not donations. It's they're backers who's making pledges. Okay. I just want to clarify that. Okay. It's people who are supporting and who want your goods. All right. But anything over, that's why you make it low. Because some people will make, because for instance, authors have they want to do a fancy hardcover book for, and even if you print on demand is more money, but even if you get a bunch, it's expensive.
It's very expensive.
And the jackets and stuff. Yeah. So sometimes they make it really high, and then it's hard to reach that. So they say, make it low. I mean, worst comes to worst, you do the hardcovers print on demand, and you figure out how much it's going to cost you for all that stuff, how much it's going to cost you for shipping. Okay. And shipping prices are constantly going up. And I'm like, I know me, I can't handle that kind of stress. I keep it simple, and I'm better at services. That's my thing. One-on-one services. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. Definitely. Yeah, I know. I've noticed over the last few years, the shipping prices have gone up a lot. And, I know I've had issues receiving packages, getting them late. And actually, last week, I got a notice in the mail from the Postmaster General, a special agent that works for them. And it was a Christmas card from December of 2021. Apparently, it had been involved in a robbery. So they sent me their little letter of apology and sent me the card and stuff. I had to laugh. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember one time my sister went, her and her husband and my niece went to Italy, right? And they came back and they came up for Thanksgiving, right? Because I'm now living in North Carolina, but I was in New Jersey, so they came up from North Carolina to New Jersey, right? After going to Italy, went back, came up for Christmas, went back, and then I got the postcard. So, yeah, they seen me twice, and it just
crazy.
happens. And right now, I'm waiting on two packages, one from the UK, and I think the other one is from Croatia. And I mean, I know I'm going to get them. The woman sent it out, and now I just have to be patient and wait. And who knows? Hopefully, I'll get it before Christmas.
Yeah, really. I know I have a few Christmas. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's why I was like, I'm keeping it simple.
Yeah.
I'm doing, and this way people, boom, they get it right away.
That's
even
right.
the gift certificate is going to be digital.
Mm-hmm.
So
are your other books that you didn't do this way, are they like on Amazon, or do we only get those from you? Oh, I know one is because I bought it. I got this one.
Oh, you bought that one.
Yeah. I just haven't finished it yet. Are the other books on Amazon?
They're all on Amazon, but they're other places because well, I'm a wide girl, and that's what they call, like, when you put your other, like, the ebooks, especially. I mean, you can put your paperbacks, but the ebooks, they're everywhere. Barnes and Nobles, Kobo, Google Play, Apple, Smashwords. You can even get my books at the library. You just have to, they don't have it, the ebooks, you have to ask the librarian to order it. I want to make my books accessible, not just on Amazon.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
I know a lot of people do that. They put their books in Kindle Select, and so it's in Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
But I'm not comfortable with that. I need to spread it out. And quite honestly, I don't agree with all of Amazon's policies and their ever-changing rules. And so I like it. I like wide. But yeah, you can, of course, and that's it. I don't want to say, oh, I'm not going to put it on Amazon because I'm not crazy about some of their policies. That's not fair to people.
That's right. Because a lot of people use Amazon.
Yeah. I think 3 of them are on paperback and the rest are an ebook, like my earlier stuff.
Yeah.
So
how long have you been writing?
Oh my God. When I was a kid and I was like 8 years old, I got a poem published. Okay. And I'm not a poet. Please. I can barely understand poetry, but it just came out of me. It was just channeled. But no, for a long time I wanted to write a book forever. But 2012 is when I wrote my first book. And quite honestly, and this is everybody, when you look in the past and you're like, oh, I did that. And you're like, oh my God, I could have done so much better. Oh, there's a typo here and I could have wrote it this way. But, the way I wrote back then is totally different than now because I've written for magazines and my own, is that your puppy?
Yes.
Puppy, and blog, my own blog. So I'm constantly writing. So it get better and better. But I think it's really important. If anyone listening right now and you want to write a book, just start writing. Okay. And there's always editors if you're worried about grammars, and even like the big publishing companies, where the big stars get their books from, have typos. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't want a book riddled with typos because
right.
People, like, if I see a book and like it's a constant lot of typos, I can't read it.
I hear you. I can't either.
Yeah.
I know. I see a lot of just articles and stuff online where like their use of grammar is so incorrect. And it's like immediately it like gives me a headache. Because like that spelling and English, those are like my top subjects all throughout school. I mean, I was I got very good grades in that. And when it comes to spelling or, just looking at things that are grammatically correct, they need to be.
Right, right. Well, and again, people are gonna I read this one woman's book, and she made a reference to Janis Joplin, and she spelled Janis's name wrong.
No.
Yeah, instead of Janis, it was Janice, and they're the same name.
Right.
Okay, but the thing is, a simple Google search.
I know.
If you had Googled her name, but she was this woman was really good at grammar and everything. So that's what I'm saying. But if it's riddled, yeah. And, and like, that's one of the reasons, like, I won't ever do chat readings, because I won't understand what people are saying with all these abbreviations. Yeah. It's like, no. It's like, spell it out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know. I usually, if I get a text with some kind of abbreviation, I usually contact my teenage granddaughter and say, what does this mean? Because I don't know. But you can Google a lot of them too now, and they'll come up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like when people put K, I'm like, your little finger can't hit an O, or better yet, use an emoji. I mean, I'm a grammar police.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hear you. Me too. Let's see. Okay, I asked you about your books. So how about talking about your oracle cards? What inspired that?
I love oracle cards, tarot cards, and if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Lenormand. I love that.
What is that?
That is, I actually got certified in it. And it's, let me see if I can spell correctly. Leon. Oh, it's hard for me to do without seeing it written.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, it's from Marie Lenormand, and she was French. Okay. And it was a style of, like, a game that they did fortune telling. Can I go and grab my deck and you can see it?
Sure.
Okay, I'm sorry, just give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem. I say hi to some people. Hello, Carol. Nice to see you, Carol Cox, and Carol Ann, and Melissa, and Devin is here. Welcome, everyone. Okay, that was fast.
So this is it's like a playing card. There's 36 cards in it. Okay, and what's really cool, like with tarot, how like tarot has different like spreads. Yeah. Well, with Lenormand, like if you did the Celtic cross, you could read it up and down, across, diagonally, and stuff. And it's down to earth. Like tarot is very spiritual and esoteric, is a good way of saying. Where like, okay, and I did this for my cat. I want to make sure, my cat Merlin, who passed. This is the clover. Okay. And you can see it's like the second card in the deck. And I think it's number 6. And we really don't do much with that's called the pips. We don't really do much. But the clover is like for good luck.
Right.
Basically. But it's good luck that doesn't last long. Okay. The fish. The fish is basically prosperity. Okay. So, but of course, when you put them down, it's like telling the story. So you can use it for fortune telling. I like to use it for, I guess, spiritual coaching advice. I like advice, like things that you can do. But there's only 36 cards, and it's read differently. But I love them. Love Lenormand. And I felt I had a dream that inspired me to learn this and take the course. And I was like, you know what? Nobody cares that I'm certified in this. Nobody cares that it took me almost a year. I had to do it for me. But I love cards. I probably have like close to 50 decks.
Wow.
And yeah. And it was just something like, like you always wanted to write a book. And it was just something I wanted to learn to do. In fact, when I was learning how to do it, I got really frustrated on the internet with trying to find information.
Mm-hmm.
I got really mad, and it took me hours to find like different ways of how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I took all the information, all the research that I took, and I created a blog. So if anybody else wanted to make it, and now you can find lots of cards, lots of blogs, on how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just something I had to do. And I'm not artistic.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do, and I was going to use photos from, what's that free place where you can get photos? Pixabay or something. There's a couple, and I was going to use those, and then I was afraid that somebody put them on there and it wasn't theirs. I didn't want it copyright. So what I do is, first of all, I plan, and if anyone wants to make an oracle card deck, okay, or tarot follows a certain point, but something that you want to do first, I kind of plan it out, get the pictures together, and then what I'm going to write on it. But I take pictures. We go to I like animals. Obviously, there's an elephant behind me, and we've gone to we just went the alligator adventure, and
oh yeah, I saw your pictures.
Yeah. And Carolina tiger, and Chris is really good at taking pictures. So I take those pictures and then I alter them in an app. And then sometimes I use Canva to take out the background and put them on that. And then I, put on the text, and well, I'm sure and do the front. And then I upload. I like game crafters. That's who I like. But it, I just felt like I had to do it. I don't know how else to do it. My first deck was Purrs for Humans. And it was just like, I'm going to say it was kind of like my first book. It was like getting, learning the ropes. Okay. Yeah. And so it was pictures of Merlin and Rhiannon. And then I'd look at the picture and my guides, or intuitively I'd get something and I'd write it down, and I made this cute little deck. But I like pictures altered. I'm thinking actually of creating a deck with just words, because people like that too. Mm-hmm. But I think with each deck, it's just like writing. You get better and better. Like the deck. I mean, this is the one. Like, this is the front of Merlin with the.
Yeah.
And I did one for dream interpretation, and it's not just. There's so many oracle decks out there that are about symbols. So I didn't. And dreams are much more than symbols. So right. I did things on illusion dreams and precognate dreams, dreams of the future, and past life dreams and different things like that. And, journal your dreams. So when you pull the cards, it gives you advice. It can tell you what your dreams are about, but it can also help you like what you need to learn with dream interpretation. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do you think you're going to do next? Do you have any more projects like in the works?
Yeah, first of all, I'm going to get through this Kickstarter. Okay. I'm going to get.
When does that end?
It ends November 7th in the morning.
And I think Tiffany posted the link. So if anyone would like to go on there and support you, they can do that.
Yeah, please do. Even if it's $1.
Oh, every dollar helps. I know.
Yeah, because honestly, I hope I get over 300. But if I just get 300, I don't know if I'll ever do it again. It's a great experience, and who knows? It's like people who have a baby. I've never had children, but they're like, you go through some pain, but you love it, and then you want. So I might decide. I'm nervous because it's the second day. Hitting that button, go live, was so scary. But in the future, well, I'm actually thinking about creating another deck, and I'm not sure. I'm not like I go back and forth, and I'm sure. And this is 2024 that I'll do it. Not this year. November and December.
Oh, I know. The year's almost over.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and who knows? It's like get messages or dreams. You got to do this. But it's either going to be words, or I'm thinking, or maybe even something with alligators. I don't see a lot of decks with alligators. I mean, I see like a card or two, but I was thinking maybe a deck with alligators. That might actually kind of appeal to men more. Sometimes I want to do a tarot deck, but that's 78 cards. And
I know that's a lot.
That's a lot. And, I do each, like I set up it, the template. So I do each card, separately. I know Game Crafter has a way where you can, you can do it all at once, by putting in the different things, and it will do it for you. But that's a whole learning process in itself. And I kind of like doing it one by one because it feels like I'm giving energy to it.
Right.
Like energy work, and I'm loving each card instead of putting a program together and it goes and it's all done.
So do you just design it on there, or do you just upload it to there?
I just upload it.
Okay.
Yeah, I design it, I use a template. What program? I usually use Adobe. I mean, I use like with one deck, I probably used like 5 different programs.
Oh.
You
use Canva at all?
Digital. Yeah. Like I used and now I'll like when it came to my last deck, and I did the dream interpretation one, I redid it because I had one and I just decided to redo it for Game Crafters. I wanted to make it more the same pattern. But that I used 3. I did the pictures, I used the app, then I went to use some things from Canva to put it in, and then I used the template, and then I uploaded it to Game Crafter. So it's a long process. Oh, and the other thing that I was thinking about doing, you reminded me, and you might be interested in this, Ruth, it's called Deckible, Deckible.
I have to write this down.
Deckible.
Okay.
And in fact, I'm looking at it because I have it posted on my desktop on my screen. And it's actually where you can put your cards on in there and sell them, obviously lower than the physical, but it's digital.
Wow.
Yeah, it's digital. I don't know if you know Mandy Peterson. She creates oracle cards, and she did her decks and deck there, So then this way people can just, it's like an app. They can just put it on their phone.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm going to
have to check that out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
So have you ordered cards from
Deckible? Not yet.
Okay.
So I could be wrong about but I'm sure it's got to be something where people can, put it on some kind of screen, I would assume.
Oh, no, I mean the ones that you uploaded to, was it Game Crafter?
The Game Crafter? Oh yeah. I always order a deck. It's like before I even,
right, to check the quality and all that.
Yeah, to make sure. Yeah. I like Game Crafters personally. I mean, these are kind of this is beat up, but that's because I use this deck. But I think they do a good job.
Yeah.
I know I know people make playing cards. I like, whatever works for you.
Yeah. How long does it take you to get the order once you place your order?
It takes a while. It takes, because they do print on demand, and there's people ahead of you. And they have a lot of people. They're becoming well known.
Wow.
Yeah, so it does take a while. I ordered one deck from Doug, and I can't think of his name. He has Duck Soup Tarot, and I love his stuff. And I got it from playing cards. That's because what I did was pay him, and then he sent it. Got them to send it for me. And it took a little while for that to come through. At the same time.
Yeah, that's where mine are, make playing cards. But I'm looking to change that a little bit, I think.
Yeah. They have good quality. I like them.
They do. They do.
What I like about the Game Crafter is the pages they have. they have nice pages for people, where your cards are. This,
Oh,
like when you go to make playing cards, it looks like you can order all these different. It looks like it kind of looks like when you are ordering, like trying to figure out how to make your deck on the creators page. Where make playing cards the Game Crafter has really pretty pages for each person, and they even give you like a little page, page for your stuff, for who you are, and all the cards together.
Profile page.
I'm sorry?
You mean like a profile page?
Yeah, kind of like a little profile page. It's not that big, but still, I like them personally.
Mm-hmm.
I like them. They, do good quality, and they even have like a crowdfunding thing.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they have their own crowdfunding, which is kind of neat. I don't know if I would do it because a lot of people, I saw that the games do really well.
Mm-hmm.
But you can, if you wanted to do that, you could do that. I've thought about it, and and as you know, Lenormand is not that popular.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, "What is it?" And I even said that to Layla, and I said, I'm doing this for me because people are like, "What's that?" I don't know. I didn't know what it was. In fact, I went onto the Game Crafter after I had that dream, and I was looking at their different tarot and oracle and stuff, and I saw Lenormand, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, let me click on this." And and I was like, "Oh, wow, this is totally different."
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow. I don't think I've ever seen those anywhere before.
They're not, like, you don't really see them anywhere. Like Barnes and Nobles, because I'll go into our, the Jacksonville one. I've never seen them there. I saw them once at, it's called, I don't know if you have them where you live, Secondhand Charlie's.
But we do have some stores like that, but not that one.
Yeah. Yeah, but you don't see them that much. It's not that popular. It's not like tarot. I mean, tarot has actually become mainstream, and I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah. Do you do tarot readings?
I actually, for those who, or want to learn symbols, I think that, like for dream interpretation symbols, I think that's the best. That's a great way of learning symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
I did learn tarot back in the 90s, and the way that I was taught, was sleep with your cards, sleep with your cards. Maybe not the whole deck. I would put it like on the nightstand, but individual cards or a few cards. I used to take it and put it on my forehead and meditate on it. And sometimes I wouldn't look up what it was to see what I could get, or look at it, meditate on it. And I was actually told, kind of like Lenormand, like to look at it and see it as a story. So yeah, I do use tarot, not all the time, but I enjoy it. I think tarot is a good way when you're giving someone a reading, and especially someone who or a regular client, you establish that relationship. It's a good way to bypass the ego. That's my opinion. Okay. But there's sometimes I have my decks out and I'm like giving readings and I'm not even pulling a card.
Yeah.
But I do love tarot. I really do.
Wow. Let's see. So can we talk a little bit? I think this is your latest book, isn't it? Until the dream.
Yes.
Okay. I just thought this was amazing because we've been Facebook friends for a while, and I've watched your progress.
Right.
And so when did you start growing it out?
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I had a dream. This is how, in fact, my guides told me a long time ago to stop dyeing my hair, right? This was before, the pandemic. And I was like, I'm going to dye my hair until, because everybody else did. All right. Yeah. And I thought it made me look young. Okay. And I had this dream, right? And it was just when the pandemic started, so we were all dealing with the skunk line, and we couldn't get ourselves beautiful, right?
Right.
And I had this dream where my former hairstylist died. Okay, so that was upsetting. So I was like, well, who's going to do my hair? She always does my hair. So I went to someone new, and it was this hairstylist, right, who kind of looks like my former hairstylist. Not my former, the guy I went to one time when I was like 6 years old and chopped off my hair. Yeah, it was a very traumatic experience. And I'm telling him what I want, right? And he was arguing with me and giving me a real hard time. And I woke up and I'm like, what the heck was that about? Like, I really wasn't sure what it meant. Okay. And then the woman who did my hair about a few weeks later text me and said, the salon's open, right? And I was about to text her back to make an appointment. And in my head, my angels were saying, no, 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 no. And I got, no, no, no. And I'm like, okay. So I did text her and I said, what is your thoughts? What are you doing about the mask? Because it was like still the pandemic was new. And she's like, oh, I'm letting people decide. And I said, well, I'm not going to get my hair done, get COVID. And then I got to stay. I work from home and stay in. And that's when I realized, that what the dream was about was not, she wasn't going to die. It was the death of dyeing my hair.
Gotcha.
And also how the public viewed not dyeing your hair. Like women are, it ages, if you don't, gray ages you, you're too young to go gray, whatever the society's thought is.
But society doesn't say that about men.
I know.
They look more distinguished.
Right.
I've heard that one forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they look really sexy. We look like old hags.
Right.
That's what they said. But you know what? It was the dye. It was a beauty. I mean, the beauty. And we won't. But the beauty, just what women have to go for beauty, that is ingrained in us, and that's called good marketing. Okay, that's what it is. And the dye, that's called good marketing. Nice and easy and all those crazy commercials, that they had growing up, because for many years women didn't dye their hair.
That's true.
And so I decided to go cold turkey. Okay. So if anyone's thinking about it, it takes about 6 months to get to your ears, another 6 months to get to your shoulder, and then even longer. Okay. And a lot of women just cut their hair. Okay. See, but
I've seen them shave their heads completely.
Yeah, shave their hair. See, but the problem is with me, why I didn't do that and why I went cold turkey is, for one thing, like highlights. I have curly hair, like the back's even curlier. I'm trying to show you. The back's even curlier. Of course, it's not coming through, but it's curlier than the front. Okay. The front, the type of curl I have is it's 2C, and that's one of the frizziest curls that you can have. All right. So with curly hair, with highlights, and I had a former hairdresser from New Jersey who I really trust and is a friend of mine tell me, don't do it, you'll destroy your hair. Okay. And a lot of curly hair girls do it. If I got it cut short, right, it would go out. Like even now it's kind of frizzy. It go because the weight mellows out the curl. So it goes really curly, even curlier, and go like this. And I look like Bozo the Clown with curls.
Yeah.
Okay? And what's funny is because everybody was telling me, people will tell you what to do.
Oh, yes, they will.
All the time. I was told to iron my hair. I was told to perm my hair. I was told to thin it out, which is the worst thing you can do with curly hair. I was told so many things. And especially, I had people tell me, I'll dye it for you, and it wasn't a matter of money or whatever, oh, you need to cut it. You need to do that. I had one woman say to me, oh, 2 years going cold turkey. I couldn't stand it. I had to get highlights, that must have been a hard 2 years for you. I was like, excuse me. So, and I was in a bunch of Facebook book groups, and even some of the women there were like, and what it did is it brought up all my trauma that I had from a kid, like that when I was, that's another thing. It just clicked, like the hairdresser in my dream was talking about the trauma, was about my hair trauma. You know how we can have trauma in our body, something happens, okay? I had hair trauma. So I had to heal that. So that book was, I always was like, I should write a book about my life. We all think, oh, let's do a book about my life. And, I don't think I'm ready for that. But this book was kind of about like a biography, but it was self-help, because women who are thinking about going gray, I want them to have some kind of reference. And curly hair is a little different than straight hair, but there's a lot of the same things. How do you deal with these, I call them polite hair trolls, because they are trolling on your hair, but they're, I'm just trying to help,
Have you had perfectly strangers come up to you? Perfect strangers?
A couple, but not too much down here. Mm-hmm. Now, even today, and especially young people, and I have people all the time coming up to me, I love your hair. I was with my dad recently. We went to a restaurant, and two of the waitresses were like, I really love your hair, and we're talking about my hair. And then we went to the bank, and some woman walked by, and she's like, I love your hair. And my dad just smiled, because he was like, he knew what I went through. He helped me edit that book. So obviously, but he knew what I went through. Yeah. So I have so many compliments, but a friend of mine, she's like, you're too young to go gray. It's going to make you look older. Wait until you're like 60. And I'm like, or like 65. And I'm like, is 65 the magical age? Yeah. But this was, this was her way of thinking. So a year later, when it was like, down to my ears, and I had it pulled back, because I used to go like this, like the dyed ends, and I would compare how I'd look. And she said to me, you look so much younger with your natural hair color. And I was like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, when I started in December of 2018, and I think it was just like it's something I had kind of contemplated for a while. I just started getting really tired of having to color it every 3 weeks, because that's how fast my hair would grow. And then as I was moving on in my spiritual journey, I just felt like my hair has to be natural. And now I have not had my hair in a natural state since I was probably 15 years old. But I will tell you that my hair is so much healthier since I stopped dyeing it and coloring it. And it's gotten thicker.
Right.
And it grows a lot faster too.
Oh yeah. So you did it before it became, I'm like a pandemic, ditch the dye woman. You were like before. So was it hard for you? I'm being the interviewer.
No, it's okay. No, actually it wasn't. Like my family couldn't have cared less. And this was just like a year and a half after my mom passed. So I wasn't doing a whole lot of anything as far as going out in public all the time or anything like that. So it was pretty easy. And then like a year after I was into it, I'm trying to think, I'm pretty sure it was 18 or 19, but I'm pretty sure it was 18. I just couldn't stand looking in the mirror sometimes to see all that, the growth,
Right.
But I will say only one experience I can think of, like no one ever said anything negative to me. Anytime I was out and about, people would kind of look like, you need to get your hair done, lady. But my son had just met this girl, and they had been dating for a little bit, and he wanted me to meet her. So we were going to the movies together. So we get there a little early and we're sitting outside in the sun, you know. And this is when I had probably 2 inches of growth. And I had my sunglasses on. So she didn't know where my eyes were looking, but I was watching her. She was staring at my line like the whole time. So I know it was like really noticeable. But like nobody ever said anything negative. And I would read all sorts of things in some of those groups. And people are cruel. They're so cruel to some people sometimes. And it's crazy. You know, there's a lot of young girls that are dyeing their hair gray now.
I know.
It's like a big trend.
I actually had there's this guy with long, beautiful hair at the grocery store. And he every time he sees, I love your hair, I love your hair. And I'm like, you always tell me that. He's like, but I do. He's like, I can't wait to go gray. I had 2 gray hairs right here and they fell out and I was so devastated.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it was cute. It's totally different. I didn't really I had a lot of stares, but people didn't really say much. It was more people, like some of the people on Facebook gave me a little hard time, and quite honestly, it triggered me because I had hair trauma.
Yeah.
And like I said, in the groups, I had women say, it's long enough, chop it. And it's like, no, I'm not going to chop it. Yeah. And that's the other thing with once you reach a certain age, women should have short hair. Oh, please. My Aunt Frida was 91 years old and she had long hair. She kept it in a bun a lot. She did dye it, but 91 years old, she had long hair. So.
Yeah, I don't buy into any of those social norms. I mean, whatever they say, I feel like mostly I do the opposite. Not just out of spite or anything, but that's just how it is. Right. And I think it's so sad when people buy into all of that.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's $1 billion business.
Oh, yeah.
And that's everything. Like, I never liked makeup. Okay. And if you want to wear makeup, my sister loves makeup. My sister will not leave the house without makeup. Okay. And that's who she is. And she tried to get me to wear it. But I never liked it. But it's like installed at a young age, play with makeup. They have play makeup and all that stuff. And fashion clothes. And it's like, I want to wear, I did that. I hate pantyhose. I don't even know if they make them anymore. I won't wear them.
I assume they do, but I don't know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, for kids, I know they make the fake nails and all of that stuff now. Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but if that's what you're into, great. I mean that's who you are, and you can, and they do look. And some of them, as long as it's applied right, they do look beautiful. But it's not for me. I had one of those kind of like nails, like that really thick jelly kind of nail polish. Oh my God, it was impossible for a wedding, somebody's wedding, and I was like, I will never do this again. It was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was younger, I used to get my nails done. I get the acrylic stuff on them and everything, and then I just decided I don't want to do that anymore. And as my nails were growing out, my one on my pinky finger, it was kind of split, like down the center, that way, but kind of to the side. And I started taking, no matter how much I would file the end of it, no matter what I would do, it would still keep splitting. So I started taking this collagen, Mary Ruth's, they're some kind of collagen gummies. They're fantastic, but they're all natural and everything. And it healed that up. So that's, because it was there for years. But now my nails grow so much, I have to file them like every couple weeks. Yeah. But now they're healthy. When I first stopped doing them before, they were in such bad shape.
Oh yeah. That's stuff you have to be. And that's the same thing with like hair dye. You don't know what's in it. Nobody's ever, it's not regulated. So you don't know what's in it. In fact, I was starting to feel, I didn't, I was too afraid to do it by myself. Okay. But I used to feel loopy afterwards. And I hated, like, I would have like dye here and, and she'd like wipe it and I'd find it on my ears and, but I felt kind of weird afterwards, and it's itchy. And I'm so glad that I don't have to go through that anymore.
Oh, I know.
And that's why I wrote that book, to encourage women to do it and what you can do. But I also wanted to point out that you might have some trauma with it. And you might have to look at like bad haircuts and stuff.
Yeah. I think it's great that you did write it. We
need
more books out there like that.
Yeah, it was. And you know what? That was one of those books where it just came out of me. I mean, it didn't take me that long to write that book. It was like less than a month. I had to get it.
Really great.
Yeah, edited, but it was just kind of like, it just poured out of me. My other books, like the one that I'm doing on Kickstarter, that took forever. I'm using pieces of blogs that I wrote, but I rewrote those and edited like crazy,
Yeah.
But and had my editors look at it. But yeah, thank you, and I want to thank you for buying it. I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm excited to finish it.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have done mine years ago, I think this would probably inspire me to do it, though.
Right. Well, in fact, one woman who bought it, and she had straight hair, but it's still, she knew me. She was thinking about doing it, and it inspired her to do it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a very freeing feeling. Uh-oh, you froze.
Oh, there
you go.
And I'm sorry if there's any guys listening to this, but they have their own clothing that's restricted. It's like coming home and taking off your bra, but it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and for the rest of your life.
I know. And how many times in the past have you had an event coming up, and so you would wait like that extra week or so to get to dye your hair, so it would look good for the event? You don't have to worry about that stuff anymore.
No. Actually, my niece wanted me to marry her, and I was probably about a year into my growth, and I was like, I'm just putting it in I'm putting it in a braid. You can forget about me dyeing it for her,
Yeah.
And the thing is, I was lucky. My family was really supportive. Chris, he was really supportive. Most people were. My neighbor across the street, and may she rest in peace, she did pass. She gave me a hard time, but she was older than me, and she was from the mindset that, you need to do your hair. My sister dyes her hair, and you know what? That's fine. I'm not going to change if that's what people want to do, but if you don't want to do it, you be you. That's the way I look at it.
Exactly. Don't color your hair because that's what you think you're supposed to do, or because that's what other people tell you to do.
Right.
And more people are starting to actually be themselves.
Yeah. Oh, I see women like, I'm in the South, and I see a lot of women with gray hair. And in fact, I was my dentist, and there was a woman, and I could tell she was at the 6 months point, and her hair was above her shoulders. And I'm like, your hair looks great. I said, are you letting it go natural? And she's like, yeah. And I said, well, good for you. And she's like, yeah, it was getting really expensive. And I said, well, it's much healthier for you too. Okay, we're going on and on about this.
It is a lot healthier for you. That was one thing too. I started reading a lot about how different chemicals and that absorb into your scalp, and whatever it can cause, which I really won't go into, but and that started making me really start thinking about it. I did notice one thing though. When I did go somewhere, I sure did notice, I was very aware of other people's hair.
Right. Oh yeah.
Makes you very aware of other people's hair.
Right.
When you have that big old line there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
we're out of time. It's already been an hour. That's crazy.
That's zoomed.
Well, I hope maybe you can come back again.
Yes, I'd love to. I'd love to.
Awesome.
And thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I loved having you here. I hope everyone will go take a look at your Kickstarter. That's so exciting. I wish you tons and tons of luck with that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
1 minute at a time, 1 day at a time with that.
Yeah. Sounds like you really put a lot of work into it.
I did.
That's awesome. So. That's awesome, though. It probably feels very fulfilling then.
Whatever the outcome is, I'm grateful. I'm grateful I had the courage to do it. And I know we're out of time, but one thing I want to say to everybody is have the courage to do it. If you fail, well, at least you did it. You know, you'll never wonder,
what if?
What if? The what ifs can kill you.
Oh, yeah, they definitely can. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed you and having you on the show. I want to thank all of you for watching tonight and joining us. And I appreciate all of you. I hope you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I will see you next week. I love you all. Good night.
Good night, everybody.